do 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 do.
It's Super Slam.
Anyone remember that phone call scam? My goodness. Oh, that's a classic. That's a classic. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Sigdaddy's Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Skylar Sigdaddy Sigmund, joined by my assistant to the host, J.O. It's been a little bit.
Definitely has been a little bit.
The 4th of July holiday kind of changed the plans of the scheduling of this, so we're getting this out a little bit later than usual, but we're looking forward to it today because we're celebrating John Cena. 20 years. Who would have thought he would have had a run at the top for this long? John Cena. Who would have thought he would have made Hollywood, been a Hollywood actor? Not me. How about you, J.O.?
I don't know. I've seen The Marine, and it's probably one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Are you talking about the Suicide Squad?
That was sarcasm. I've seen The Marine. It's really not that great. But that being said, and you just mentioned the Suicide Squad, yeah, John Cena can act. So I'm actually not surprised he's been able to cross over to Hollywood.
Yeah, it's been interesting. What we're going over today, what we'll be doing today, we'll be watching one of his first really big matches, part of his first WWE title reign. This man's won 16 world championships. He debuted back on June 27th, 2002 on an episode of SmackDown, answering Kurt Angle's open challenge with ruthless aggression, slapping the face of Kurt Angle, and it was all uphill from there. Not immediately, though. It took him a while, but he eventually found his feet. But yeah, we're watching along. We're doing a watch along of John Cena's WWE title defense, his first major WWE title defense against JBL in an I Quit match from Judgment Day 2005. And it should be a fun one, a little bit of a brutal one. We're bringing the brutality here on this episode, but some brutal news. I don't know if you'd call it brutal news, but some big news came out of WWE today with a PW Insider reporting both Sasha Banks and Naomi both being removed from WWE's internal roster. What are your thoughts on it, J.O.?
Kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. When I first heard the story and this news was breaking, my first thought was, is WWE going to do anything to them? Some of their biggest stars in the women's division. I thought maybe just a slap on the wrist if they even wanted to stay. But by the looks of it, they don't want to stay anymore. So who knows if WWE wants to even have them around anymore.
Apparently the ratings have kind of stagnated. At least they're like sticking where they're at, or they're up slightly, not like anything crazy, but they're not like their downward turn is kind of stopped, at least halted for now for them. But you know what? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that happens, because Sasha Banks has a lot of choices. Honestly, she has a lot of choices. She could go wrestle somewhere else. She can go do movies, TV, whatever she wants. She has a lot of choices. Naomi, I don't know. She can wrestle for other companies as well too, but we'll see how this all plays out, because it's going to be quite the topic. It's, at least on Banks' part. No offense to Naomi, but Banks is the bigger deal.
Yeah, you can't even. That's not even shade or anything like that. That's just fact. Like, that's fact of the company right now. Sasha Banks is just a bigger star than Naomi is.
Yeah. And so I wanted to thank everyone first. Actually, earlier I wanted to do this, but I wanted to thank everyone who listened to our TNA Slammiversary 2006 review. If you haven't already checked it out, make sure to check it out in the archives. We had a lot of fun doing that, looking back on some old TNA wrestling, kind of during their peak, I would say, around that time. Also happening recently, we talked about the Sasha Banks news, but last week it was Money in the Bank last week, and it took place on Saturday night. We had two Money in the Bank winners, one of them cashing in on the same night, Liv Morgan becoming Miss Money in the Bank, and cashing in on the same night against Ronda Rousey, who just won a submission match. I think was a submission match against Natalia. And so Liv is now the SmackDown Women's Champion. I think it was long overdue for her because she had been getting pretty good reactions for quite a while now. So hopefully she gets a proper run with it. Hopefully they just don't put it back on Charlotte when she returns, because that'll be just
God.
Same story, different day.
See, one thing I hate that WWE does sometimes with the Money in the Bank contract is, so when Money in the Bank first started and the stipulation and everything, people kind of saw what it was. It was just a wild card or a quick, easy booking decision that they could do. And I really hope they don't treat Liv Morgan just as a transitional champion. I hope she has a pretty solid reign. Because I mentioned to you before we started recording, but she got a decent pop from the crowd. Like, they were into it. They loved it.
They want her as champ. They've dating back to at least a year or two ago at Money in the Bank, they were wanting her to win the freaking briefcase, which I guess is a good storytelling element, but they did the same. So what you're worried about, the transitional champion point, that happened exactly like Nikki Ash last year.
Yes.
Nikki ASH or whatever you want to call it, call her. But she did that last year. I think she cashed in the next night on Raw, or at least a week or two. It was not very long after she won it. WWE has a not very good that very good track record with women's Money in the Bank, because they usually cash them in pretty quickly.
For the women?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of.
Like Carmella was the one, but she had to win it twice because they screwed that up because they had James Ellsworth won it the first time, technically, if you want to think about it.
The first women's Money in the Bank, a historic moment, and they have to ruin it by having a man win it.
They had Ellsworth drop the briefcase to Carmella, but you get the idea.
You still don't want to have your first women's Money in the Bank in like that. And if I recall, the match before that was pretty solid.
If I can remember, I can't remember specifically.
Yeah. But Sigdaddy, so I told you I wanted to ask you a question about Money in the Bank. So it's no surprise. I think everyone knows it by now, but wrestling is scripted.
Yes.
It's predetermined. I'm not sure if you've seen the video, but I saw recently they showed the shots of McAfee and Michael Cole during Liv's cash-in, and it almost looked like they didn't know she was cashing in. Did you see that video?
Yes, I saw that. It was awesome. It was great.
So was it a shoot reaction from them? Did they not know Liv was going to cash in? Because I love that call by both Cole and McAfee, which people have been saying it. I'm starting to agree, but McAfee and Cole are a great, great team.
Well, it's rejuvenated. It rejuvenated Cole.
Oh, I agree 100%. And that call by McAfee and Cole, it was awesome. I watched it over and over, trying to figure out, wait, did they know this was happening? Because it just seems so genuine. So I wanted to ask what you thought about it, because it looked like they didn't know.
Oh, yeah. I watched the video back. I probably watched it at least 2 or 3 times. And Cole's reaction was like, that's what you want. You want genuine reaction to it. That's what people like. They like when there's some kind of reality based in the professional wrestling instead of this fabricated. Because you know how that works sometimes with WWE literally feeds lines to Cole.
Right. And
the miracle kid. Don't, no, for the love of mankind. No. Oh
my God. Took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say that exact same phrase. I can still think of the shot of Michael Cole saying that, holding the script in his hand. Oh God. But I was watching that video, and at first I thought maybe it was scripted because I saw Michael Cole's eyes looking down, but no, he was looking at the TV monitors on the table. He wasn't reading a script. He was calling it live.
And that's what that's when it's that's when it's at its best.
It was such an awesome call. McAfee was just leaning back, twirling his pencil. not paying attention to what Michael Cole. What I don't even remember what Michael Cole was saying. Maybe it was like an ad or
It was
something
talking
in
about
between.
Rousey at the after the match. It was probably after
Yeah.
about Rousey.
And even Michael Cole's reaction. Liv Morgan's music starts to hit. He stops talking just to take it in. And then he realizes what's about to happen. Both McAfee and Cole stand up. They start cheering. Oh, that was such an awesome call.
And even Cole like celebrating at the end. That was kind of cool.
It was.
As for as much flack as we like to give Michael Cole, he's pretty dang good. He's good for the most part. It's just when WWE feeds him stuff, it's not fun. It makes it like feel so fake. But like when we get those kind of moments with McAfee and him together, when there is genuine emotion and like it doesn't feel fake.
That's legit.
Because you saw McAfee and Cole got like visibly emotional after that.
Yeah, they were happy for her, and that was awesome to see.
And then you notice that with JR, some of that, like, okay, so JR, some of his best calls are when he is absolutely emotional about something.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like you've noticed that, like there was okay. So here's a quick example. I'm not going to go on too long, but so No Way Out 2003, Bischoff and Jim Ross. This is marking the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bischoff kicked the out of JR on Raw, and so Jim Ross is on commentary for that match. Austin returns. The place freaking explodes. It's in Montreal. Place just flipping loses their. JR is just super passionate on his call the whole time. You could really feel it. It's like, okay, this is real. This feels real. When you feel that, that's when wrestling's at its best, and that's when the broadcasters actually enhance a match.
And they enhanced the hell out of that cash in.
They did, because the cash in really wasn't all that great.
Yeah, I thought the actual cash in. I don't know what I was expecting, but she used the most powerful move in wrestling, the roll up. So
the surprise roll up.
Most powerful move in wrestling. But like you said, their commentary just made it awesome. Yeah. Like that's probably a moment I'll save on my YouTube liked videos, and I'll visit on occasion just to hear their reactions again, because it was just so awesome.
It was for sure. And one of the other Money in the Bank winner, Austin Theory, or they like to call him Theory. He won, and that was and the way they inserted him in the match was just sigh. It's
hard to root for someone when they get handed everything,
Exactly.
Yeah. Like we want a tough guy. We want a guy who fights hard, who we feel like deserves the opportunity. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure Theory's a great guy, but sorry, man, I don't care if you win. You got handed the W.
That telegraphs everything. Like literally, when they announced him as a surprise entrant, it literally just telegraphed the finish. Completely telegraphed it.
Yep, he's gonna win almost immediately.
And this is the Roman push he's getting. He's getting the Roman push.
Man, and that push lasted 5 years
before it clicked.
5 years before it got going.
It took at least so it started in 2015. It didn't click until 2020.
Man,
when they finally turned him heel.
And they're already pushing Theory as a heel, so what, do they have to turn him face? Gosh, I don't know.
It's gonna, and he's only 24 years old too. You got to put this into account too.
Oh gosh.
And I so personally, I don't watch Raw. really that much. I've watched a few matches of his. I'm not impressed one bit. For me, he's a charisma vacuum.
I just don't like the character.
The phone thing, I don't. He looks like literally. I think it's based off of him looking sort of like John Cena.
Really?
He does look a little bit like John Cena, a little bit, just a little. But anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna get ready for this watch along of JBL, John Cena. I Quit from Judgment Day 2005, but we mentioned Money in the Bank. We're going to be going over our top 5 past Money in the Bank winners. This could be either men or women, like the best cash-ins. We'll say that it's not the winners, but the best cash-ins of all time. Top 5 best cash-ins in Money in the Bank history. We'll be going over that next time here on Sigdaddy's Wrestling Show. But without further ado, let's get some background on this upcoming match. John Cena, JBL, I Quit from Judgment Day 2005. So Cena, he won his first WWE Championship, World Championship, more specific, ending JBL's 280-day reign at WrestleMania 21. That reign for JBL started at Great American Bash, where he defeated Eddie Guerrero in a controversial way in a Texas bull rope match. He won that title in June of 2004. Not a great match. Well, the bull rope match was fine, but JBL's when he lost to Cena was not very good. It was not a good match. I'll tell you that. This we're about to watch is, I would think, I'm going to consider it quite an upgrade. So this match took place in Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, May 22nd, 2005. It was set up by an April 28th SmackDown where JBL won a fatal 4-way elimination match to claim the number 1 contendership. Earlier in the month, Cena unveiled the new Spinner Championship that would be used for the next 8 years. JBL would continue to come out would come out that same night wearing the old WWE Championship. And so moving forward, May 5th, episode of SmackDown, Cena announced that he'd like to defend the title against JBL in an I Quit match for the WWE Championship. And so here we go. We're about to get this thing underway. The link for the match will be in the description of this episode, so make sure to click the link in the description to watch along with us. Here, JO, are you ready? I'm about to do a countdown, and we'll go in 3, 2, 1. I'll count you down, and then we'll be ready to go. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. So we're getting JBL in the big old limousine with the horns on it. And Jo, what are your thoughts on JBL? Because I can't stand the guy as a person and a wrestler.
As a wrestler, I think the character people talk about the perfect character is something that the wrestler can become or is part of the wrestler.
Part of
and
the
I think JBL is
right?
Yes, and I think JBL is a perfect example of that because, like you mentioned, the stories I've heard of JBL backstage as just like the worst person ever, I think meshes well with the JBL character. And I like him as the character because, as a heel, you're not supposed to like him, and I don't either. So I think it works that way. And yeah, not a fan of the person either. So
because I've read stories of him and in Justin Roberts' book, he talks about JBL quite a bit, being an absolute jerk. And there's other stories with Vince Russo talking about JBL being a jerk too, even though, Russo's not got the best reputation in wrestling, but gosh, there's so many signs here in Minneapolis for this. Just a big loser, just born a loser. JBL sucks is right there. So I guess he does his job. He's getting a reaction as a heel, and he's carrying around the old WWE Championship that he carried for 8 months.
That's a long time.
Especially in that, I think it was since the 90s, that was the longest reign as WWE champion.
Man.
I think it was because I looked at one. It was Yokozuna had the exact same like length of reign for it, but here we go. John Cena in the big coming out in the big rig, and then he's got the DJ.
I remember this entrance.
This is when John Cena was a rapper. It just came out with his album.
So we're listening to this without sound. Which theme is it? Is it the do 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 yet, or is it the other one?
I think he is spinning. Yeah, it's that one. It's the do 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 do. John Cena sucks. No, I don't think John Cena sucks. We like him on this show.
Say from 2007 to maybe 2009, 10. He was probably my favorite wrestler if you were to ask me.
That was some dope pyro. Oh yeah, Cena was. I like Cena. Like I didn't ever hate him. When Punk got his like the summer of Punk happened, I thought that was a pretty cool thing. Well, then people were over John Cena by that point. Oh, John Cena just wrecking that limo. This wouldn't be the last time John Cena and JBL would face each other either.
No, you're right. I remember you talked about destroying the limo. If I remember, not too in the near distant future from this match, him and Crime Time destroy his limo.
About 3 years later, because they had a match at the Great American Bash 2008, Cena and him, and it was like a street fight in which JBL won.
That was when Big Show interfered, was it not? Am I thinking about a different? Okay,
you're thinking of probably Edge Cena 2009 last man standing match from Backlash. Yeah, sorry, I'm an incredible nerd about like pay-per-views and stuff. So apologies to everyone at home for my nerdiness.
Sigdaddy the historian.
Eight. So who would have thought that spinner belt would last as long as it did? Almost 8 years.
Sigdaddy, is it just nostalgia or do you miss the spinner belts?
Like it's a very hot topic on the internet. Like if you like it or hate it, there's like a consensus that I think the consensus is they hate it. They hated it. They thought it was. I liked it too. I didn't hate it. I know it's your major championship, but oh well. So we got a little bit of a collar elbow tie up to start things. Oh, yep. Now we're going to trade Ham Hawks. Ham, I don't know. Right. So what are your thoughts on like Cena at this point? I don't know, like he was definitely the right choice at this point. Definitely to win the title.
Oh, I would agree. I don't really think there was a top guy that could have been, if not Cena.
Well, him and Batista, this was the beginnings of their big run at the top, because Batista's would last through about 2010. The early 2010 was his run. Cena's would go. What were you saying?
You mentioned 21 was the Mania before this, right?
This was the Mania that happened right 2 months before this.
If I remember, I'm pretty sure everyone saw WrestleMania 21 as the changing of the guard Mania, because that's when both Batista and Cena walked away with the belts.
Mm-hmm. Well, good exchange here, leading that arm drag. I'll say one thing about JBL. He delivers, his clothesline is absolutely brutal.
Oh, it takes your head right off.
Like it's not a normal clothesline. This is stiff.
So that's a move I would not want to take, especially if it's from JBL.
He's swinging full force, coming at you full speed. He's literally wanting to take your head off. Like even the blows JBL, like his punches and everything, they look stiff.
Considering what we know about him, the person, and his role in the locker room, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like super stiff.
Would you consider? So, okay, we're looking at JBL just tried to cover him, by the way. But would you consider JBL one of the best one-time champions in history? Because there's a lot, actually.
I would put him up there.
Because he was very, very cowardly during his time as a champ. But
yeah,
he
but
had a really good heel run. He had heat.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You have to think, yeah, he was acting like a coward, but that's the kind of champion he was supposed to be, like the one we hated because of that. And he did a good job of making people hate him.
That's for sure. Like no one. Yeah, I see. Like I said, I don't like him as a person nor a wrestler really, but like he did have some decent matches. This may, we'll review it, not review it, but we'll talk about it afterward and see where we think this match would be in the echelon of his matches. Because the era we watched was during the last few years of his run in WWE. So we'll see. Oh, geez. It's taking a spill over the guardrail. We're going into the crowd. Oh, is he going to go for a neck breaker? Oh, on the concrete. But yeah, JBL, while he gets, I don't think he gets I would not say enough recognition because I don't think he gets enough of what he got. But when they talk about heel champions, what? Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Is he? Okay.
When they talk about heel champions, he doesn't get talked about very often, it seems like.
I think you're right, and he definitely should be.
He should be in the conversation at least a little bit. Not like he's probably one of the best because of his character as a heel. Because you snobby rich guy thinks he's literally better than everyone else. He literally doesn't, he never wins a match clean. Some interference has to happen or something wacky has to happen for him to win.
Some shenanigans.
Oh, Jesus. That was the first time the mic got involved in the match where they was asking if he was going to quit. Cena laid him out with a right hand. And
oh, wait a minute. We're watching this without sound. How are you going to know when the match is over? We're not going to be able to hear him.
There'll be a point where we will know. You'll know. Cena taking that bump into the ring steps like he always does. He lays out the ring steps. He likes to blast him like a linebacker would. Oh my gosh, he's taking Mark Eaton's belt, the timekeeper. Gosh, why? See, why would you ever agree to take a belt shot during a match?
You know those sting.
Those don't feel good. Now Cena's getting choked.
I hope they have a safe word.
Oh my God, Jay. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, I did. That was not what I was thinking here.
I saw it. I had to say it.
And I salute you for that. That was good. That was very good. My gosh. A year before this, literally same pay-per-view the year before was the epic JBL Eddie Guerrero match where Eddie accidentally cut an artery after a chair shot.
Oh, really?
When he was blading.
Yes.
That's the match.
That legendary Crimson Mask.
That if you haven't seen it already, make sure to go check it out. It's a spectacle as it is. It's a really good match actually from JBL and Eddie. And somehow Eddie continues for like 10 minutes as he is just spewing out of his head in the ring. Oh, back body drop through the the Spanish announce table.
So it's always a Spanish announce table.
So he went butt first too. He hit all tailbone there. Going back to that Eddie Guerrero thing, that was a really good match. You see the canvas of that match just covered in blood, just absolutely covered.
I would have hated to have to wrestle after that match.
Well, no one did. Ooh, well,
oh, thank God.
Did you notice that JBL's back when he hit the announce table? It hit the end.
Ooh, yeah, it didn't. It was upright a little.
And John just took out JBL with the monitor. Back when they were actually monitors, not tablets. Are they gonna redo the same chair spot? Yes, they are. They redid the same chair spot from Eddie Guerrero. It was practically the exact same chair spot. Except the Eddie Guerrero match was not a no DQ match. This is definitely a no DQ match, being an I Quit. My gosh. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine the sound that went off. Up, here we go. Yep, blade job. Not near as bad as Eddie, but it's going to be semi-close possibly. We'll see.
We don't see chair shots like that anymore. For good reason, of course, but...
when used sparingly. Oh, geez. Well, we know Cena didn't cut an artery here, so that's good. He's bleeding pretty good, though.
He is.
It's like all over his chest already.
I was just about to say, how does it get that bad that fast?
Well, Cena might also rub it on his chest, too.
Mm.
But that's an interesting blade job, because normally, you say, you don't see that blood on his chest like that. But they literally just recreated that chair spot. Not near as brutal looking as the Eddie Guerrero one, because the chair, it sounded like a gunshot when Eddie got hit with it. We're not hearing the sound here, but I imagine it was still pretty bad. But I don't think it would be the Eddie Guerrero level. Gosh, JBL's all over him now.
So he has all the momentum.
Jiminy Christmas, man.
Yeah, talking about stiff. Those stomps have looked a little stiff.
Literally, like JBL, when he throws a clothesline, he goes like it's like inside of his forearm with the elbow, like where the elbow meets the forearm. He literally hits him like that with that part. Jiminy, good. Now Cena, look, oh my gosh.
Oh.
He's getting the chain out. Cena's never lost an I Quit match, I don't think.
I'll say he hasn't lost that many matches to begin with.
Yeah, Well, especially after '05. Man, he does have some really like even the last few years he had, like I think my some of my favorite matches of his are against Styles.
Styles for sure.
That Royal Rumble 2017 match. Oh my, where he won the 16th World Championship. Such a good match. Oh, low blow. Cena just got low blowed there. We also, you notice we also got the crooked official here, Nick Patrick.
Mm.
Jeez, he's hit him with the mic. You know, if it was Scott Steiner in there, you know what he'd say?
What would he say?
Give me an effing mic. That's what he did at Survivor Series '02. You could literally hear him on the feed saying, give me an effing mic.
But he probably didn't say effing, right?
No, he did not say effing. He used the actual word. Oh, geez, nice clothesline. This is before the 5 moves of doom. Actually, well, there's one move of doom. Move number 2 is coming. Oh, actually, he skipped the shoulder block.
Yeah, it looked a little out of order.
Well, there's 2. Oh, he's not going to go once for the 5-knuckle shuffle. Well, he did. Oh, I thought he was going to pump him up for a second. He used to pump him up. Going for the FU. This is not the attitude adjustment. This is the FU. It'll always be the FU to me.
Oh, yeah. The OGs know.
Yeah, the OGs know. It's the FU. It's not an AA. Oh, JBL cowers out of the ring. Well, he's doing the you can't see me and flips him. Yes. Flips him off. This is definitely a coming out party for Cena, I think. Like showing he belonged in the main event.
I could agree with that.
Because this is his first big main event, like after WrestleMania. This is his first opportunity. On the car. Gosh, he put a dent. He did put a dent in that hood.
Oof.
Ouch. Look at that car. Look how much blood's on the car.
Oh my God, you're right.
Cena's selling here. I gotta give him props. It's pretty good.
See, I always thought with the selling after a blade job, part of it has to be true because you have to imagine they're feeling a little lightheaded after losing all that blood.
Yeah, especially with the blade job like that.
Right?
Using the cord now.
Why was there a TV just sitting there?
I don't know. Well, it's production stuff. Gosh, what a visual. Oh, right into the TV screen.
Kind of reminds me of the Stone Cold Bret Hart.
Oh, that was a submission match, similar to an I Quit match. Not quite to the level of that match, but this is pretty good. My goodness, JBL's now bleeding pretty good too. I like that because Cena like just swung him into the TV
Yeah.
or whatever it was. Oh, gee, look at that window, man. That, jeez. What do you imagine the discussion was before coming out to do this match? It's like, all right, guys, let's just beat the ever loving crap out of each other here.
And we're going to destroy your limousine.
Oh, a little poke in the eye. Some of these bumps they're taking, while they're like not the craziest bumps ever, these are not very fun bumps because a lot of this match hasn't been in the ring.
Oh, yeah, you can practice and know how to take a bump, but they still hurt. I'd imagine they still really, really hurt.
On the car. Ooh, right in the car door. This is probably one of the more brutal WWE matches from this era.
Oh, you know it's brutal where they don't show it, like in today's highlights of history. Yeah,
Yeah.
if they did, it'd have to be in black and white.
They were like Triple H, and then Batista's like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this at Vengeance?
How are we going to do this at Vengeance?
How are we going to top this?
How are we going to top this? They found a way.
And this is not your normal wrestling match. This is a fight.
Oh, yeah. Anytime it's like a no DQ or an I quit match, it's really not a wrestling match. It's just an all out brawl.
This is a war.
Yes.
Now they're on Cena's DJ stage on the big rig. Both guys at this point are bleeding horribly.
Profusely, some may say.
Bleeding like a stuck pig, as JR would like to say it.
So they got blood on their back, chest, shoulders.
You know what I'm noticing here, JO? Not a million camera cuts.
Oh yeah, they're just tracking the action.
Why don't they do it these days? That'd be nice.
Let us see the action.
Instead of, let's jump 800 times, let's cut 800 times as they're punching them in the back. JBL has a choking kink.
Yeah, I made that joke earlier, but as the match was going on, he just keeps going to it.
They must have a safe word, I would assume now, but
say it's either JBL or Cena who's, asking for it.
Well, Cena's been getting a lot of it, so he must be asking for it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, to each their own,
Yeah, whatever. Whatever floats your boat, dude. Oh, now JBL's choking him with now there's the mic being used. Choking him with the cord. It just keeps hitting him with the mic. And JBL, crashes through a table. My goodness.
See, the first few times JBL used the mic, it looked like he was using the soft part. Cena was smart, used the end of it.
Gosh, the man, this is even by like WWE standards, this is like tough to watch almost.
It's a brutal match.
It's like I don't think I've seen like outside of the Eddie Guerrero match, I haven't seen this much blood in a WWE match.
I don't think I have either.
Oh, gee, she grabbed one of the big like exhaust things off the semi. Here we go.
Exhaust.
JBL quits. JBL quit. Because he's like, I'm not getting hit by this big giant exhaust pipe. Because I think it's a sprays the smoke out of the semi.
Right.
Cena gets his hand raised. Yep. Woohoo, I won. Great. JBL's just trying to get some kind of reprieve. Now JBL's laughing. Not a good idea, dude. He's thinking. He's a thinking man. Well, did you think about getting hit with a freaking pipe and then thrown through a thing of glass? Nope.
See, everyone always makes the comment that even though John's a face and has been a face for the majority of his career, he still does heelish things. You know, like attacking someone after they quit.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've seen more of an emphatic WWE title defense, first WWE title defense than this one. That was a statement match.
Yeah. The statement being John Cena's here to play.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the match. Wow. Your thoughts on it, Jo? Overall match, everything.
It was good. I've definitely seen highlights of this match throughout. Never first time actually seeing it all the way through, and it was solid all the way through. Brutal, but you'd expect out of an I Quit match, and as brutal as you'd expect WWE at this time. But it was good. I liked it.
First WWE title defense by John Cena, and it's in a more and what couldn't have been a much more brutal way with this I Quit match against John Bradshaw Layfield, but super fun match, I thought. Very good. The brutality was at an all-time high. Stiff match. When the matches look real, that's, I think, when they're at their best.
Oh, absolutely.
This was just a brawl from start to finish. It would be the first of many WWE title defenses for John Cena in his first ever WWE title reign. He would not lose the WWE title until New Year's Revolution 2006, where he lost it to the cash in, the first ever Money in the Bank winner, the rated R superstar Edge.
Wow, it's amazing how that tied in right there.
Yep. Gotta get the tie-ins. I gotta make sure to work it in somehow, because
very topical. I like it.
Very topical. And they did tease Edge recently, I think, on a video package during Money in the Bank, because they were showing his old opponents like Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, amongst others. So maybe they're teasing Edge's return coming up, but that was the first title first title defense of many for John Cena coming up in the future. He would win 16 world championships in his career. Where is there a 17th somewhere? I doubt it.
Ooh.
But one of the best WWE careers ever. John Cena for sure going to go down as one of the best WWE superstars of all time. No doubt about it.
Rightfully so. I'd put him on my Mount Rushmore.
If there's a WWE Mount Rushmore, he's definitely on it. It's because he was the he was the gatekeeper from what 2005 through I'd say 2014 was where that kind of slowed down a little bit for him.
Yeah.
So he had a 9-year run, really big 9-year run. Then he'd come back from time to time after doing movies and stuff, and would eventually win 16th against AJ Styles at Royal Rumble 2017, which we already talked about. It's a great match. Check that one out as well. But yeah, great watch along. 20 years of John Cena. It's gone by pretty fast. We'll see what the next 20 years has in store. But we had a great time watching this match from Judgment Day 2005, JBL, John Cena. I quit. And coming up next week, as we mentioned earlier, will be the Money in the Bank. Our top 5 cash-ins of all time. Should be a heck of an episode. Make sure to check that out when it drops next time here on Sigdaddy's Wrestling Show. J.O., where can everyone find you before we decide to wrap things up a little bit? Wrap things up, put a bow on this episode, and head out.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jeremy Ordas, all lowercase.
All right. Make sure to follow him on Twitter and all his other social medias. And you can follow Sigdaddy's Wrestling Show on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Sigdaddy Wrestling, and on Instagram at sigdaddy.wrestle. You can find Sigdaddy's Wrestling Show over 130 episodes so far, many more to come. You can find those all on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, the iHeartRadio app, Amazon Music. Pretty much anywhere you can find your podcast, you can find Sigdaddy's Wrestling Show. If you like the show, make sure to leave it a 5-star review. Until next time, this is Skylar Sigdaddy Sigmund alongside J.O. thanking you all for listening and saying so long, everybody.